Cecily.
Okay, sure. Everybody, thank you so much for coming tonight. We have this beautiful rock star lady, Sharaya Gunst. Am I saying the right way? Okay.
Yeah.
And we met her at leadership last week. And after hearing her story, I just kind of like stalked her down and wanted to know, more about her and just what she's doing, because I think that our team can really maybe duplicate some of the things that she is doing. And to get on here with us and talk to us tonight. So I kind of just wanted to start it off, Sharaya, by just can you tell us a little bit about your story, like how you heard about Plexus and how you started with it and what made you want to go Fast Start Gold? Can y'all hear me?
Oh, I need to unmute.
Uh-oh.
Let me find her. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay. So I will try and shorten it the best that I can. Okay, so I heard about Plexus over a year ago from a friend of mine on Facebook. And I was pregnant at the time, and I had just stopped working with another direct sales company that did parties, and you had to carry inventory. So me being pregnant and getting out of that other company, when I was first approached, I said, absolutely not, no way, like not a chance. I unfollowed her Plexus page that she had added me to. I unfollowed anybody who added me to anything. Like I would unfriend people. I wanted nothing to do with Plexus, and I didn't even know what it was because I was just so turned off by the idea of sales. So a year later, I was still friends with my friend Taryn. She's my upline. I still had her on my Facebook. I just didn't follow any of her Plexus stuff. And I was having a really, really bad day. And I think that my Facebook probably portrayed that. I probably posted something sad. And she messaged me and she just said, hey girl, like I'm praying for you. Like, I hope that you're doing okay. And I messaged her back because we were going through some family stuff. And I was like, that's so crazy that you messaged me. How are you? And she's like, oh, I'm doing like really good. And so I went on her page, obviously, and I like creeped her and I was like, oh, so she's still doing that. She's still doing that thing. And so then I started talking to her just a little bit about, I didn't want her to know I was actually interested. So I was just like, oh, so like you're still doing that company? She's like, yeah. And she was kind of withholding. And I was like, oh, and you're able to stay home with your 3 kids? And she's like, mm-hmm. And I was just like, oh, okay. So then I went on vacation with my family. And I say vacation, but it was really just a trip that we had won. So we didn't really even have to pay for it. And when we were there and we were buying things, it was like pinching pennies. And so finally, when we returned from our trip, I talked to my husband and I said, before I even told Taryn, I said, would you give me 6 months of paying for whatever these products are? Would you pay for them for 6 months if I promised you that in 6 months I could turn a profit and I could start making money? And he was like, well, yeah, because I had been working out. I'd been trying to lose weight, like diligently. My husband went to school for kinesiology, so he was able to like help me with like workout routines that would be good for me. And, diet plans and this and that. And just no matter how hard I worked, nothing worked. So I joined Plexus and like I instantly, like within like the first month, lost like 20 pounds. But during that journey, I was taking so many pictures. I'm very open. If like you're on my Facebook page at all, I'm a completely open book. Like I will post pictures of like my mom tummy. I don't even care. And all of a sudden, all these people were wanting to join me. And so I was just like, oh, well, the cheapest way to do it is wholesale. So I was just signing up people wholesale. And I think I had like, 11 people in my first month. And I didn't realize what I was doing. And then my diamond upline, Candy, texted Taryn and was like, is Sharaya going Fast Start Gold? And Taryn didn't even know what it was. So we both looked it up. And I had 4 days left to get, I think it was like 7 or 8 people. And then it was a Sunday morning that I found that out, that I had like 3 or 4 days. I had until like that Wednesday at midnight. And she told me right before church. And so I answered on my phone, and I put my phone in my back pocket. And then we were on our way out to church. So I went to go to the bathroom, and my phone fell into the toilet. I kid you not. So I was like,
Oh.
I have 4 days to get all these people, and I don't even have my cell phone. So I went to church, and like my leg is like shaking the whole time I'm in there. I'm like, I can't even focus on this right now. So I get home, and I hop on my iPad, and I start messaging everybody. Anybody who has ever liked any of my posts. I started adding anybody that I had 10 or more mutual friends with that would like come in my feed. And I had a couple people message me being like, do I know you? So I've learned that I will add somebody, and then as soon as they accept my request, I message them like instantly before they have a chance to be like, girl, do I know you? And I'll say something like, hey, like I think we went to school together, and like I saw we have mutual friends. Are like, and that you live in the same area. I'm kind of new to the area, and I'm looking for like other moms to like hang out with and like whatever. And like that's a way that I can like really connect, is like I'm just looking to make more mom friends, if they even ask. And like, because a lot of people don't care if you add them on Facebook, they don't think it's weird. But sometimes you get, you know, the one that's like, I don't know you. And that's fine, because they'll get to know me. And I've said that before too, where I've said to someone, I'm just really friendly and I like to make a lot of friends, so hi. And they're just like, oh, okay. And then I start commenting on all their pictures. But the way that I started introducing Plexus in such like a fast way is that I would say, you know, I'm new to the area or whatever, and I just started working with this company, Plexus. Have you heard about it? Just like super upfront, because at that time I was working with like, you know, fire to my back. You know, it was like make it or break it. There's so much money on the line. I didn't care if I was getting no's, which is what I think that everyone's mindset should be. You shouldn't care if you're getting no's, because those people will come back. And when I went out and I asked like everybody that I could possibly get my hands on, I say this to my team all the time. I didn't ask 20 people and 20 people said yes. I asked probably, or I offered the opportunity to like 100 or 200. And, you know, 80 of them said no. And 20 of them never messaged me back. And 40 of them said maybe. And the rest of them were able to sign up with me. But you have to cast a really, really wide net, and then continue to follow up with those people and build a personal relationship. I have people on my team that I initially asked in the first month to join my team, and they flat out told me no, that like they do, you know, this company or that company. And they had absolutely no interest in it at all, and were like offended that I brought it up to them. And then I just said, okay, like I'm sorry, and just continued to comment on their pictures. And I make a list of everybody that has ever said no, or everyone who has not answered me, or like, because they'll see it, or they just like won't open your message, but like, you know that they saw it. I will make like a physical list or like a Facebook list of all of those people. And every Friday, and usually every Tuesday or Wednesday, I will message all of them and say like, hey, you know, Tiffany, I hope that you're having a really good week or whatever. I saw that post about your dog. OMG, he's so cute. And then that's it. And then either they'll read it and say thank you, or they'll ignore me. And then they'll hear from me in a couple of more days. And I'll say, hey, like, I hope that your weekend was really good. I saw that post about going to the movies. Was it good? And I just keep trying to start a conversation with them. And I had an instance like that last night where I had been messaging this girl for like months, and she hadn't read any of my messages. And then I publicly commented on one of her pictures of her daughter, and I was like, oh, we have to have a play date soon. And publicly she wrote back to me. She goes, yeah, for sure. Can you message me tonight about Plexus? I was like, okay. So I feel like not being afraid that people are going to say no. And I've seen that in a couple of different videos that Bridget Ryan has done, that if you're afraid that they're going to say no, they're probably going to say no. So you can't go into it with the mindset of like timid. Like you can't be timid. You can't be like, well, if I offer this to them, they're going to think I'm weird, or they're going to think it's silly, or they're going to think it's dumb, or they're going to think it's a scam, because you know that it's not. So if you go into it with that mindset, they can tell. Like people can tell all the time. And like if I get like in a bad mood, if someone like keeps asking me questions and I'm getting annoyed, sometimes I need to just take 10 minutes because I know that my tone, even in texting, can change. I'm just like, all right, okay, no problem. Everybody picks up on those things. So if you go into it thinking that they're not going to, you're setting yourself up for failure. So I think that what my point was don't be afraid of no's. Like aim for no's even. See how many no's you can get, because if you're counting those, you're going to reach out to more people. And I know it sounds silly, but it's so true. And then try to connect with people on like a personal level. And I recently just started to lead with the business. And that has kind of changed my business a little bit. But I find that the people that I'm getting now are more driven and are willing to like follow through with actions. So I still reach out to a bunch of people, but I definitely starting to lead more with the business, and I can feel it changing in my team. So that's kind of exciting. But that first month, like I said, I didn't even know what Fast Start Gold was. And then it just kind of happened, and it was a really big deal. But then on the last day, what we did, the day that I had until midnight, I invited over a ton of people, probably like, I have a small house, so probably like 12 people, but it felt like 1,000. And I brought my upline over, and we did like, it wasn't even a sip and see. It was more like a presentation. And I had alcohol. So that kind of got a lot of people to come over. I was like, I have wine, woohoo! And so people came, and it was basically a signing party, because we signed up the rest of the people that I needed right then and there. I had my iPad, my phone, Taryn brought her computer, and my mom brought her iPad over, and we had people like sitting on the couches, like just signing up. So that was really exciting, but it was because I wasn't afraid to reach out to people that I didn't know. There's people on my team that I added in the first month that I haven't had a chance to meet yet in person. And those are people that I added that had 10 or more mutual friends, and I would message them, talk a little bit about their personal life, and then say, you know, well, I do Plexus. Like, I learn about their job. I tell them what I do, and I say, I don't even give them a chance to respond. I'll say, I'd really love to tell you about it. Do you have a second? Can I like call you? It's easier. Or, you know, what's your number? And like, I'll text you, and then I'll get their number, and then I'll just call them. Because when you get somebody on the phone, I feel like they're less likely to just shut you down, and they're less likely to just say no. They're willing to listen to you. So get their phone numbers, and don't be afraid, and call them on the phone and cold message people, and be proud, because we have something super, super special that nobody else has. And like, I feel like even I need to remind myself that, you know, daily, because it's hard. Like even today I got told no, and I did a live video in my team group, and I was like in my pajamas, and I was like, all right guys, I just got told no by this lady, and she said that she looked up reviews and people were having stomach aches. And it just got me thinking that like, when you get somebody like that, it like challenges you to learn more. It shouldn't discourage you from what we're doing. It shouldn't make you feel like, you know, maybe this isn't the best company, or maybe I shouldn't be doing this anymore. But take it as an opportunity to learn more, because then I found this awesome detox video, and it explains what, and it's like a little cartoon, and I can send it to one of you or whatever, if you've seen it. And yeah, I'll send it to you. And it explains, you know, just really short, that like your body needs to make a mess before it can get cleaner. And then I talked about how when you make a really fabulous meal, like for Thanksgiving, is your kitchen super clean right after you're done cooking? No, it's a big fat mess. And that's okay. Because your body's getting better. And it's like what we learned at Leaders Retreat, when a caterpillar goes into a cocoon, before it becomes a butterfly, it's just yucky mush. And you have to explain to some people sometimes that if they're getting headaches, or if they're getting stomach aches, or if they're getting diarrhea or whatever, that it's okay, and that they have to stick with it, and that it works for everybody. If it's not working, they're not taking it right, or they haven't been taking it long enough. And when I first started, I had a lot of those Fast Start Gold people that I added drop off, because in the first 2 weeks they didn't feel good, or they got a headache, or they didn't see instant results. And so then I had to go back. And it's like we talked about at the tea house at Leaders Retreat, where you have to sometimes go back to the people that you first added, or that you added quickly, and almost like apologize to them and send them a humble pie message and just say, hey, like, I'm sorry I didn't explain it properly. You know, can we do a one-on-one Zoom call, just me and you, and I can go over the products with you? I feel like I maybe didn't explain it properly or good enough. And since then, I've had a lot of those lights or a lot of those lines turned back on. Senior gold this month, woohoo! But it really, you can't just add people and then forget about it. And that was my big thing, because I all of a sudden had this group of 20 people after I wasn't planning on making money for 6 months. You know what I mean? That wasn't my mindset. So then at the end of that, 30 days, I had these 20 people that were all looking to me, and I didn't know what to do. I just kept adding people because that's what I'm good at. I can just add people, but I don't know how to train them. So that's why I was brought to Leaders Retreat, was to work on that. And I've taken away a lot of it. So it's exciting.
That's awesome. That's great, Sharaya. That's awesome. Can you hear me? Am I on?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That is fantastic. I mean, and how long have you been in the company?
This will be my, November is my 4th month.
Wow. I mean, you've learned so much. I'm just amazed, because it takes a lot of people a really long time to be able to speak the way you have. And it just shows that you're an awesome leader. Your team's going to really grow and do well. I can just tell that. And guys, I tried, Sharaya sent me like her messages that she sends out, like the one that she was talking about with the dog today. And I just I was inspired by Sharaya. And so I went home, after Leaders Retreat. I just went down and I was like, and you're going to talk about this anyways, but, she like friends, like if she sees that she has 4 people in common with, her, then she friends them. And so I just went back to all my high school people, which is crazy, but and just anybody I could think of. Okay, this person, I know they have a lot of influence, let me go down and friend everybody that's that we have 4 mutual friends. So I ended up friending this lady, and I don't know her at all, but she has like 2,000 Facebook friends, and she has like 3,000 or 300 likes on her personal photo on Facebook. And so I was like looking at her going, this lady would be a complete rock star. So I went and I did that. Like what you said, only our kids both play football. And so I go, hey, my son's a QB at Walnut Grove. It looks like your son's a QB at, on his football team, blah, blah, blah. And we just started talking, and so I said, hey, we need to get together.
Yeah.
And it worked. I was like, this lady
Awesome.
doesn't even know. I know. So you have really inspired me, like lit a fire underneath me. So I'm going to hopefully follow in your footsteps and start signing up some people that I don't know pretty soon. But yeah.
Sharaya, when you message people and you start to talk about Plexus, do you start with the business or with the products?
When I first started in that first month, I only talked about the products. I never once talked about the business. I think that was a mistake. And I'm totally willing to admit that. But because I was having such amazing results, I led with that completely. And I just wanted to get like everybody on the products that I was on. I didn't take the time to listen to maybe what else they might have needed. I just wanted everybody to get on the triplex, and I didn't care if they added anything else, because I wanted them to join. But then, like I said, so since then I went back and listened to what maybe they need more, and went over that. And now I'm going over the business more. Even up until I went to Leaders Retreat, I had a team page and I had all my people on it. But and this is like embarrassing, but I would only post in it like once or twice every like 4 or 5 days. And it was only like, hey, don't forget we have a team call Thursday. And like, that was it. But now I'm like addicted to my team page. I like do live videos like twice a day in there. I do, I post testimonials in it that I see on Facebook that are really cool, because it helps remind the people that are on your team that maybe don't sell, or maybe are afraid to tell you, but they're questioning, are these products really working for me? Or is it just I'm telling myself that they are? But if you're constantly posting testimonials in your team page, it notifies them that you're posting in there. So they're forced to go and see it. They might not see it if it's on just your regular page. So I post testimonials in there. I post, like I said, I do live videos in there every time that I'm feeling like motivated about something or moved by something. And I also do shout outs like twice a day now. I downloaded that Word Swag app. And I, like if somebody gets a customer, I like put their face and the word swag in like one photo collage. And I'll say, okay, like it's time for a shout out. Like I'm so proud of you. And even if it's not a new customer or a new ambassador, if it's just, and I thought this was silly at first, but I did it. I gave a shout out for someone posting on Facebook for the first time. And I was like, you know, give so-and-so props for posting on Facebook for the first time. That's such a big step. And my team has been interacting with each other. And so now I'm getting more and more likes because my excuse before was every time I post on my team page, nobody, like 30 people will see it and no one will even like it. So, pardon me, they don't even care. But I think really what it was is that they didn't feel connected to each other. So now I post, you know, what are you guys doing this weekend? Even if it's not Plexus related. And then I do like shout outs for birthdays in our private team page too. I'll say like, everybody wish so-and-so happy birthday, and post like a really cute picture of them and like their kids or them and their husband or something. Or something, or funny meme even, like all the time I'm posting in there. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Okay, so Sharaya, I have just a couple more questions, and then I'm going to just open it up for people to ask questions. So how many level 1s do you have now on your team?
Sorry, I probably should have known that before this call. I think it's sorry. I'm really bad at this. Like I am. Like people might think that I'm like crazy super organized, but it's really just in leaders retreat that I've like kind of started to get it together. So I think I have 48 or 47 under me specifically. And then I have assisted with a lot of second down lines where I'm like, oh, like let's sign up your mom. What's her info? Let's do that for you. You know, like let's sign up your friend. Let me do that for you. But now I'm getting more into the groove of teaching them how to teach themselves, so that I'm not doing everybody's work, because I sometimes struggle with pride. And I feel like if there was just 100 of me on my team, then I would just be diamond in a second. But you know what I mean though? Like if it was you adding everybody, and if everybody else had your drive, and if everybody was as motivated as you, but they're not, and they never will be, and you might not ever find somebody like you on your team. So you have to teach them, you know, to be the best versions of themselves within the company that they are able to be, because not everybody wants to be, you know, diamond. Some people just want to make enough for their products, and that's okay. But if you push too hard that like everybody needs to go fast start gold, then it just turns them off and they don't want to do it, you know? And there's a lot of, I can't list them off, but there's a lot of jewels who were customers for a really long time, or were wholesale ambassadors for a really long time, and then all of a sudden wanted to, you know, go nuts. So
That's right. Yeah, Celeste was one of them.
yeah,
That's really fantastic though. I mean, to have 47 level 1s in 4 months, that's awesome. So I'm very impressed. Okay. And let me see. And I wanted to ask you, you know, how many of your level 1s do you think that you knew before you signed them up?
probably like 20, 27, 28, maybe.
Okay.
Not a whole, like, I mean, the majority of, but not, I mean, there's quite a few that I didn't know on there. I actually added twins onto my team, and I didn't even know they were related. And they worked at the same. Yeah. Yep. It was a funny conversation too, because I was on the phone with the sister, like with one of the sisters, and actually Amber and Autumn, because they know the story now. But they both work opposite shifts at the hospital around the corner from me, but I'd never met them. I just added them on Facebook, and I asked for their phone number so that we could like hang out sometime. And I called them and I started talking about Texas, and I signed the one up on the phone like immediately. And then I had another call because I set up call dates with the other sister. And I was like, yeah, let's go ahead and get you signed up and blah, blah. She's like, I think my sister just signed up not that long ago too. And I was like, oh, yep, she did. And I like quickly did like a Facebook search. I was like, oh, they're related. Whoopsie. But I added them underneath of each other. I did it fair.
Oh, that was smart. That was very smart. Good for
Yep.
you.
Yep. Actually, I'm looking it up. I have 67,
That's awesome.
not 47.
Can y'all hear me?
Pardon?
You have 67? Oh my
Mhm.
goodness, 67 level ones. Oh
Yeah.
my word. So like just a little over half you knew, and then the rest were just people that you just added.
And when I say I knew them, I had them on my Facebook. That doesn't mean that like we're friends, but
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, that's fantastic. Okay, wow. I'm blown away by that. Okay, and
can
oh,
I tell you something real quick?
yeah, absolutely.
I dropped out of high school. Like I'm not like this super like peppy popular person. Just so you guys know, I dropped out of high school because I was bullied and I transferred from school to school, and then I actually just finished online. So sometimes people get the impression that like, and I'm not saying any of you, but I'm saying people in general do this. They'll look at someone's profile and see that they're doing well in life, and they'll think, oh, well, it's easy for her because she has so many friends, or because she's blonde. People have said that to me. Or because I live in a certain town or a certain city or whatever. I live in a very small town. And like I said, I was bullied and I transferred schools, and I even moved back. I'm Canadian, just so you know.
Wow.
And I actually moved back to Canada from when I was 17, when I had my daughter, until I was 21. And then I came back here and I lived with my parents, and, you know, and then when I started doing Plexus, that is what opened me up to, I don't care what other people think. I don't care if I get bullied anymore. I don't care if people think, you know, I'm stupid or silly or weird, because I'm pretty weird. But I stopped caring what people thought, and everything else just kind of follows.
That is so awesome. I love that honesty. That is great, Sharaya. You're an overcomer then. Okay, and I guess let me look at this just real quick, because there was one last question that I had. Okay, can you just I kind of went over it a little bit, but can you just tell people how you add your friends, and then what your process is that you reach out to them, you know, on Facebook?
So, like I said, I'll add, at first it was only 10 or more mutual friends, but then now I don't really care. Now it's if we have like one mutual friend and I think that I could get along with them, I'll like look at their profile picture, like see what I can see on their page. I'm like, yeah, with this friendship could work. And then I'll shoot them a friend request, and whenever they message or whenever they accept it, I will just send them like a brief message. And sometimes I don't even do it right away, because sometimes I'm busy. Like I have a life too. So I will shoot them a message as soon as I'm able to, and say like, oh, like, hey, thanks for like accepting my friend request. I saw that we have like a bunch of mutual friends in common, or I saw that you're from the same city as me and I'm looking for new friends, or, you know, I think our kids go to school together. Or I'll just try to find one common denominator between the two of us that connects us, so that they're like, oh, she's not just a weirdo. Like there's a reason that she added me. And then I try to, within that same conversation or the second conversation, I try to drop like a plexus bomb. Like I'll try to bring it up in one way or another. And usually how I do it is I'll just ask them what they do for work. And then I will just tell them what I do. And, you know, say how easy it is to get started. And then I'll talk about the business, and then I'll talk about the products themselves. Or I'll try and get their phone number so we can talk about it at a different time if they have time.
That is awesome. That is so bold. Okay. Because that's kind of where we need to get. A lot of us have, just a few of us have run out of our warm market. So we need to start reaching out into cold markets. So this is just awesome, awesome stuff.
I
Okay,
also go to my daughter's school, and I go to a lot of her school functions, and I'll introduce myself to like other moms, and I'll just hand them my phone and just be like, add me, I'm new, and I need some like mom friends, and I'll like hand them my phone and like put it in their hands so they can't like say no. And then I have them add me on Facebook like immediately. So
That's awesome. That is,
Yeah.
this is all good stuff. Okay. Irene, why don't you just open up everybody so that everybody can ask questions? Because that's all the questions I had. You did so great, Sharaya. I just really am just so impressed. I know that next year you're going to be on that stage as a diamond. So I'm excited to see that.
Okay, I'm gonna let people.
Guys, can you open it up, Irene, so that everybody can just ask questions?
I'm gonna let everybody, as they have a question, unmute themselves, if that's okay. That way we don't get a whole lot of background noise. But I do have a question. So, like, as soon as the second time you're chatting with them, you will bring up Plexus, or what do you do, or whatever?
mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome.
I try not to wait too long because I feel like you have this window of excitement when you
Yeah.
get a new friend.
Okay.
So I feel like if I let it go too long, then it's kind of like, well, why didn't she bring it up sooner?
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
I don't know if they would think that, but I feel like that would be my mindset.
Yeah. Well, hey,
And I
it
feel like if
works
someone's
for you.
confident enough, you know, they'll say it right away.
Yeah. Cool. It's obviously worked for you, so sounds good.
So far.
Cool. Awesome.
I have a question. So when you get a new level 1 ambassador, what do you do to motivate them, or what do you say to them to kind of get them going?
Well, really what I say is that their first goal is to get 3 people to join in with them. So see if they can get like their mom or their sister or, you know, their brother or their cousin or their best friend. I try and hook them up with 3 people. And sometimes it doesn't work out that way. Like I don't have a bunch that are silver just yet. But most of my level 1s have, you know, somebody underneath of them or people that they're working with or customers. I try to get them set up with somebody right away so that they get paid, even if it's just a little bit, the following week or the following month. Even if it's only like a $25 check, they're seeing something so that they see that they can make money from doing it, and it makes it a reality instead of just like, oh, you can make money doing it, but just buy your products. You know, so it kind of
Right.
motivates them. And then my upline, Amy, who's an emerald, she is doing the silver and 7 challenge or whatever, and so she has all these pre-made videos that I will send them. And then sometimes I'll send them this if there's someone who I know wants to do the business but is like really timid. I will send them, I'm kind of like a tough love person. I'm like, listen, if you want to do this, it's hard, but you can. And then I'll send them, Eric Warre does a video and it's called Network Marketing is Hard. And I think it's only 5 minutes long or 7 minutes long, but it's called Network Marketing is Hard. And he talks about like everything that you've done in life was hard at one point. And it doesn't get easier, you get better. So, you know, walking was hard, talking was hard, writing is hard, you know, anything, all those things are hard to do. They don't stay hard, you get better at it. So I don't know how I worded that, it might have been wrong, but anyways, it gets them motivated to see that like it's possible, but it does take work.
I like your silver and 7 idea or videos or whatever. I'm wondering if there's any way we could see them on our team.
Yeah, I will send them to, is it Cecilia?
Is Cecily?
Cecily? I don't have my glasses on. I can't read for anything.
Oh, everyone calls her that though. You're not alone.
Do they? Okay.
Yeah.
Because it looks like an S to me. I'm so blind. Okay, so I will send them to you, and then you guys can add me on Facebook too. I love having Plexus friends. I think Lacey already did. But yeah, you guys can add me on Facebook. That would be cool.
That'd be awesome. Yes. I want you guys to follow her because she's going to go up really fast.
She is. She just has so much positive energy. I love it.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, I want to be on your team page too.
Okay. I think that's okay. That's allowed, right?
Is it?
It is. We do it
I-
sometimes, just very seldom.
I don't care. I like, see, that's the thing is that because I'm like newer and I'm like kind of like fly by the seat of my pants, I'm like learning all of this stuff on the go. And so like I would just add
Kind of
everybody to the
pros.
team if I could. So yeah, if you want to add me, and then Irene just sent me a friend request. After I get off the call, I will like accept and then shoot me a message if you wanted to be added to it.
Yeah, just so we could kind of duplicate it.
Yeah.
Or
yeah,
even you could maybe just add one of us, like Cecily, to your
that's
team.
totally fine.
Yeah.
Totally
That'd
fine.
be
You're
a
gonna
great
see a lot of live videos of me without any makeup on and like no extensions in, and it's really pretty.
Well, I'm sure you're just beautiful. I'm sure that you
Yeah.
still are just really pretty.
You guys are funny. Sorry I ramble a lot. Do you guys have more questions?
I have one question. Well, I have a few, but one that comes to mind. Can you just kind of tell me what you do in a day, like business-wise? Kind of break it down, like how much time do you spend reaching out to people, and how much time do you spend, reaching out to your teammates, your level ones and things like that?
This is another area where I need work. Because I will get up with my kids probably around like 7 is when my son normally wakes up. I get my daughter out the door for school by 8:15, and my son Roland is kind of like sleepy and just kind of like cuddly in the morning. So when he's sitting with me that early in the morning is when I message prospects, so new people. So first thing in the morning, because usually those people are all already at work. Those are like my 9-to-5ers. Most of them are at work, and even like the stay-at-home moms, their brains, because like mine too, are like not fully awake yet to commit to something. So I message everybody first thing in the morning so that I can have time with my son until about like 1 or 2, where I'm not like really on my phone unless I get really inspired when he's having a nap, and then I'll do like a live video on my team page. But most of the stuff I do is at night time. My husband worked nights up until 2 weeks ago. So I did most of my business from 8 p.m. until like 10 or 11 p.m. because that was my alone time. The kids were asleep. I was alone. But now I'm kind of fixing it a little bit, tweaking it because my husband's home now. So I try to get a lot done first thing in the morning, and then when my daughter gets home, so around like 5. So first thing in the morning, and then around 5, and then a little bit before bed. Anyone that didn't have a chance to answer me earlier. Team, like I do team calls on Thursdays, and those are at 9 o'clock. And then I just did my first team meeting tonight out at Chili's. And then just kind of like periodically throughout the day with my teammates. Prospects first thing in the morning, and follow-ups around 5 and 9 p.m. And then with my team, it's just throughout the day because I try to be pretty close with all of them.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sorry, I don't really have like a solid answer.
No, I was just curious. I was curious how you did it.
Yeah, I try for first thing in the morning because then I know that they're going to get it. It's not like I'm sending it at like 8 p.m. and then they could message me at like midnight, or they could message me at like 7 in the morning, or not at all. I try to do first thing in the morning so that at some point throughout the day, I know they're on Facebook. Everybody goes on Facebook every single day, but at some point they're going to see that message. So.
Awesome. Very cool.
Awesome. Anybody else? Does anybody else have any questions? No? Okay.
Bueller.
Yeah, right? Oh, that's awesome. Oh my goodness. Well, Sharaya, I have really enjoyed this. Thank you for being such a sweetheart and being on our team call. That was just fantastic. Did y'all enjoy this?
Yes, lots of great tips.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
lots.
I feel so silly.
Yeah, her positive energy has inspired me for sure.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, that's
Yay.
awesome. Yay. Okay, well,
Well, we need it.
yeah, I'm going to fully expect to see you on that stage next year, but we'll stay in touch and cheer you on. So,
Well, I'm going to cheer you guys on because I want you up there with me.
thank you. Oh, yes.
Right.
Me
I'll be
too.
sitting up
We
there
would be up
alone.
there too.
We'll all be
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
That would
We
be
look forward to getting
awesome.
there.
That would be great. Okay, guys.